Hey, it's Matt with Magee Farms, and we've got a new tractor, well, not a new tractor, but a new to us tractor that's going to be around the farm a little bit. It's technically not ours. It is my brother-in-law's that is bought a farm right down the road, and we're going to talk about it a little bit. These old tractors I love. If you're getting into homesteading, you bought you a couple acres out in the country, you're wanting a weekend place, you're going to move out. Tractors are expensive. There's a lot of different options out there, and this is one my brother-in-law settled on. They're good tractors. This is a Ford 8N. One of the ways you can tell that it's an 8N is looking at the wheels, because you've got 2 ends and 9 ends, and if they're round instead of square, that usually means it's an 8N. Not always, because you know, you can, I believe the other wheels do fit. A lot of the parts are kind of interchangeable on the two. But this is a Ford 8N. It is a 1948, I believe. And we're going to do a walk around and just talk a little bit about it. And if you are considering one of these, kind of what to look for and what you might want to do if you get one. Some upgrades. Now, these tractors were originally made, the 9Ns came out in the 30s. I believe these started in the early 40s. I think it was after World War II the actual 8Ns started. And you'll see a couple different things on this air cleaner here. There should be a little glass bowl in it. I have one of these that we've had since like 1987. That's a 52. It's the last model they made. It's a little bit different. But that's your air cleaner. Pretty general. The N series was one of the first tractors that had the 3-point hitch, and you've got your position for your 3-point in the back right here. And also something a lot of people don't understand with these is you have this little lever right here, and this goes from position sensor to draft control. And what that means, when this is all the way up like this, your 3-point will go up, and you can slowly lower it into a different position. You can kind of angle it. When it's down in draft control, if I remember correctly, it's either all the way up or all the way down. But if the thing with that is, say you're plowing or you've got a blade and it's all the way down, if you have it on draft control, what that does is if you hit a root with a plow or something heavy with a rock, instead of staying down there and digging in deeper, it's going to let the third arm come up a little bit, and it's going to use this spring here, and that kind of basically lets you go over it without stalling out your tractor. If you just have it on 3-point and it gets caught, it puts too much, I guess, stress on the plow, and the engine can't keep up, and the tractor will stall on you. Now, one thing you want to look at with these, if it does not have one, definitely an upgrade. One of the first upgrades you want to do, and that's this right here. Now, this is a PTO overriding clutch. These old N tractors do not have live power, which means the hydraulics run the PTO and your 3-point arms. So if you're going to lift your arms up, you're going to have the PTO running. So if you have a brush hog or something that's hooked in, that means the blades are going to be turning constantly. Anytime you want to move this, if you're driving down the road, you want to make sure your arms stay up, and you leave it on, then you either have to undo it, like I've got it undone, which isn't a bad idea. Well, you have to undo it if you're going to run down the road, but I guess let me back up there. So it'll be running non-stop. With this, there's kind of a midway in the clutch that you can push in where your arms still work, but this will kind of slow down and kind of override it. So that way, if you have to stop in a hurry, without these, I've had them where I've been brush hogging, not had one on. You push the clutch in, and it just keeps running until it slows down, and will push you into a fence, or I've even seen a guy get pushed into a creek. I probably didn't explain that too well. I'm going to make another video and kind of go into depth on those. But this is a safety feature on these old tractors you definitely do want. Now, these were originally 6-volt tractors. And this is still a 6-volt. Mine is a 12-volt. Converting these over is pretty simple. I think you can get a kit to do it for about $120 on Amazon. And basically, what you're doing, you're going to be changing the light bulbs in your lights. You're going to be changing your generator into an alternator. And a little bit of wiring, not a whole lot. It's pretty simple to do. Someone with basic skills can pretty much do it by themselves. Normally these have a grill on it and a big front bumper. This was not on when we bought it. We're going to add that just to basically protect the radiator from sticks and stuff when brush hogging. And then the bumper, these are a little back heavy when you've got a 5-foot brush hog on, so some weights on front is nice to have. Your on and off for your PTO and your lift. If this is off, again, your lift will not work. One of the few tractors that really does that. Some of the Fergusons, I believe, after the 8N came the Jubilee, and the Jubilee has a pump in there, so it does have live hydraulics. You've got your clutch on this side. You got your brakes over here. Now on the 9N, it's a little bit different. You have a clutch and a brake on one side, and then just a brake on the other side. Your starter right here, your gears. Pretty simple tractor. Another nice upgrade. If you're looking at one of these, they make these little cushions for the seat. If you're going to spend any time on it, you definitely want one. So to start it, you turn the key on, see if this thing's going to start. We had some issues the other day, which I'm going to talk about, which is kind of common on these. But you push it in. There you go. And as you can see, while the lift works, the PTO is running. Take it all the way up. Now, if I turn the PTO off, I'm going to come over here and do that. So I've turned the PTO off on the tractor, and, well, cut off before I could do it. I did not turn the gas on, but if I had it running now and with the PTO off, this would not lift anymore. Another thing with these that I found is your gas shut off, and that is right here. You got to get a little gas bowl. When not running, I've always found turn these off and let it die. Apparently it still had a little bit in the carburetor. Our other one, anytime you leave the gas on and it sits for any length of time, like a week or two, we have an issue with fouling the plugs out. So, you know, we turn it off. As long as we turn it off, it has never happened. But one issue I was going to talk about, I see a lot with these, and really it's more just because it's an older machine, but the starter right here, when I went to start it the other day, we were running it, it would not start, and the starter has, I guess, a little bad spot in it. So basically, just kind of tap it with a wrench or a screwdriver, a couple of taps, starter started working. So if you've got one that's not starting, you know, that's an issue we are having with this one. We're going to go through, try to fix all of it. As you can see, this brush cutter's seen some better days. We're going to get some metal and do a lot of welding on this to make it good to go. But other than that, these are fun tractors. If you've ever been on one, you know what I'm talking about. If you haven't, they're safe tractors. Other than the power takeoff, not having live power in the back, These are great, safe tractors because they're smaller tractors, they're low to the ground, and they're wide. So if you've got hills, like you see here, trees kind of hide them, but you got a lot of hills that you're dealing with, these are very stable tractors. They're good to learn on. Granted, you know, a newer tractor, a diesel tractor, you can find some of those cheap. They're, you know, diesel, live power, newer stuff. They're a little more comfortable. This will get the job done. These are a good tractor to have around the farm if you're basically for a spare once you upgrade to a nicer tractor. But to start on, these things are really cheap. I think we paid $1,500 last week for this with the brush hog. And other than converting it to 12 volt and doing some welding on the brush hog, I mean, it's good to go. And even you know, 6 volt, this thing will still work. If you have one in 6 volt, if you have to jump start the battery, there is a little different way to do it. You can also jump start the starter. I'll make another video later on these. I'm really not going to go into detail on it, but it's a little different when you jump start these, and you want to be real careful if you're jump starting with a 12 volt. There's ways to do it. Doing this, jumping the starter is easier and safer, but again, something you definitely want to look into. But just wanted to do a quick walk around with this new 8N that's showed up here last week. It's Matt with Magee Farms. If you enjoy the videos, please consider giving us a thumbs up, subscribing to the channel, or sharing it with friends. I think we're going to do several tractor videos, especially with these 8Ns coming up, on newer people with tractors, kind of learning how to brush hog, how to hook 3-point and PTO up, and just some general like maintenance and things to look at this summer. I'm going to try to do a couple of these with this one and with my 8N and some of the newer diesel tractors, but I've got a general love for these. Till next time, it's Matt with Magee Farms. Have a great day.